In the 1980s and early 1990s, the outbreak of HIV and AIDS swept across the United States and the rest of the world. Today, more than 70 million people have been infected with HIV, and about 35 million have died from AIDS since the start of the pandemic. The human immunodeficiency virus of HIV is a virus that attacks the immune system, specifically CD4 cells or T cells. The virus is transmitted through bodily fluids such as blood, semen, vaginal fluids, anal fluids, and breast milk. Historically, HIV has most often been spread through unprotected sex, the sharing of needles for drug use, and for beer. Though there is no cure for HIV or AIDS, a person with HIV who receives treatment early can live nearly as long as someone without the virus. And the study in 2019 in the medical journal Lancet showed that antiviral treatment effectively halted the spread of the HIV. Scientists have traced the origin of HIV back to chimpanzees and simian immunodeficiency virus (SIV), an HIV-like virus that attacks the immune system of monkeys and apes. Rock Hudson, an actor in 1985, became the first high-profile fatality from AIDS. In fear of HIV making it into blood banks, the FDA also enacted regulations that ban gay men from donating blood. The FDA will revise its rules in 2015 to allow gay men to give blood if they've been celibate for a year. Though blood banks routinely test blood for HIV. In 1999, researchers identified a strain of chimpanzee SIV called SIV-CpZ, which was nearly identical to HIV. The scientists later discovered hunt and eat two smaller species of monkeys, had carry and infect the chimps with two strains of SIV. These two strains likely combined to form SIV-CpC, which can spread between chimpanzees and humans. The virus may have spread from Kinshasa along infrastructure routes via migrants on the sex trade. In the 1960s, HIV spread from Africa to Haiti and the Caribbean when Haitian professionals in the colonial Democratic Republic of Congo returned home. The virus then moved from the Caribbean to New York City around 1970 and then to San Francisco later in the decade. Though HIV arrived in the United States around 1970, it didn't come to the public's attention until the early 1980s. In 1981, the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention published a report about 5 previously healthy homosexual men becoming infected with pneumonitis. HIV is caused by a virus which is an RNA virus of the Retrovidae family was identified as the underlying pathogen. Stages. First, acute HIV infection is the earliest stage of HIV, and it generally develops within 2 or 4 weeks after the infection with HIV. Stages. Stage 1. Acute HIV infection is the earliest stage, and it generally develops within 2 or 4 weeks after infection with HIV. During this time, some people have flu-like symptoms such as fever, headache, and rash. Stage 2. Chronic HIV infection. The second stage of HIV is chronic HIV infection, also called asymptomatic HIV infection or clinical latency. During this stage, HIV continues to multiply in the body, but at very low levels. People with chronic HIV infection may not have any HIV-related symptoms. With antiretrovirals, chronic HIV infection usually advances to AIDS in 10 years or longer. Stage 3. AIDS is the final most severe stage of HIV infection because HIV has several damaged the immune system. The body can't fight off opportunistic infections. These ones occur more frequently or are more severe in people with weakened immune system than in people with healthy immune system. People with HIV are diagnosed with AIDS if they have a CD4 count of less than 200 cells, or if they have certain opportunistic infections. Once a person is diagnosed with AIDS, They can have a high viral load and they are able to transmit HIV to the others very easily. Without the treatment, people with AIDS typically survive about 3 years. Diagnosis. ELISA test. Blood tests are the most common way to diagnose HIV. This test looks for antibodies to the virus that the body creates.
If an ELISA test is positive, the Western blot test is usually administered to confirm the diagnosis. Saliva test. A cotton pad is used to obtain saliva from the inside of your cheek. The pad is placed in a vial and submitted to a laboratory for the testing. Results are available in 3 days. Positive results shall be confirmed with a blood test. Treatment is collectively known as antiretroviral therapy. Standard ART is comprised of a combination of at least 3 medicines. Effective ART often helps control the multiplication of HIV in the infected patients and increases the count of CD4 cells, thus prolonging the asymptomatic phase of the infection, slowing the progression of the disease, and also helps in reducing the risk of transmission.